ParaMatters. What is it? What's the value? Let's talk about that next. Okay, so let's talk about ParaMatters, and let's get started by focusing in on kind of what are its traits and characteristics. So number one, it is a cloud-based platform, right? So you're going to access it through a browser. Number two, it is a token-based purchase, right? So you're going to buy tokens, you're going to consume tokens based on the jobs that you run. Number three, you're going to upload and download either a STL or a step file, right? So this isn't tied to any one CAD application. Number four, there are no modeling capabilities in it, right? So you're not going to be creating geometry manually within this tool, and that's actually okay. And there's a very simple workflow overall. So and we'll walk through it step by step. It's very accessible and very easy to use. So those are the top level characteristics of this generative design topology optimization tool. So how does it work? Let's walk through that process. So first off, you bring in your geometry through an STL or a step file. And actually that's interesting with STL because you might want to start with a scan, right? You might want to do a 3D scan of a part and bring it in and then perform topology optimization to it. So you bring in your geometry and then it follows a very similar path to traditional simulation. You apply material, you apply loads, you apply constraints to the geometry. You actually also define what can change and what cannot change with the geometry. So you define constraints that way. You also define the manufacturing method because that will apply some constraints. So that's kind of the process. It's very straightforward. After you kick it off, you can monitor the progress of the job within the browser, and you can see the shape change over time. You can get a preview. You can actually stop it. You can make some changes and start it off again. And it will remove material based on structural results and progress from there. So let's talk real quick about why would you want to do this? Why would you want to use a tool like ParaMatters? I mean, generative design and topology optimization is pretty widely accessible nowadays. You know, it's available within most CAD applications. So what's the deal? Well, one advantage is it can be the common denominator in a multi-CAD environment. Right, so you might have one CAD application that can run generative design. You can have another one that runs topology optimization. Get very different results. This can be a common denominator where you run topology optimization and generative design for all the CAD applications that you have. Okay. Number two, there's no large upfront cost, right? So this token-based approach lets you get away from a capital expenditure and move to an operational expenditure or OpEx. And you kind of pay as you go. It's not a subscription, so it's not even that level of commitment in terms of costs. So there's advantages there as well. Third thing is, with it being a cloud platform, it is going to progress and get better over time. You're going to see more and more functionality, and that can be a little bit different from what you see in a desktop installed application. So those are the three main kind of considerations. You know, this kind of follows the standard argument of, do you want a granular, independent, standalone solution that solves one problem really well? Or do you want an integrated solution where everything is accessible in one place? There are benefits to both. There are certainly organizations that will see more advantage in one than compared to another. So it really depends on your organization and your needs. That's it. Take care and talk soon.